up on Facebook. You can hit us up on YouTube. You can hit us up on Twitch, Twitter, TuneIn, Roku.
Online radio bot.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And if you have a smart speaker, you can get us on your Google or Amazon smart speaker. Just tell it to play KUAW.
Radio.
And if you're in Kansas City, you can pick us up at 100.5 FM.
Yes. You got to be within a mile radius of this.
3 miles.
3 mile radius.
3 miles.
3 miles now.
Oh, yeah.
3
We're
mile
out to
radius.
75th Street.
Okay. The historic 18th and Vine area. So, yeah, KUAW is growing. And we're growing because of viewers and listeners like you. And if you want to donate, you can always hit us up at 816-599-6893. Or you can email us at kuaw985@gmail.com. There we go.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So we have a lot of content that ranges from STEM, community, and some entertainment and educational.
Yes.
So we have a little bit for everybody. So if you want to donate, hit us up. If you want to get on the air and be a guest, hit us up. If you think you want to do a show, hit us up, because we're not growing without you.
Let's go. There you go.
Yeah, so we have Mr. Walker with us today. Mr. Walker is the owner and originator and proprietor of KUAW Radio.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you're here because, you know, you were just recently you were out to sea, so to speak.
Yep. We went out there. We gave it a shot.
Yeah. Last time we were here with Mr. Walker, it was it was last month, and he was talking about the race that he was doing. He was racing from Kansas City, Missouri to St. Louis, Missouri through the Missouri River.
Right.
And he had a kayak.
Yes.
Yeah, no engine, kayak.
Human power.
Human by himself.
That's
rowing.
right.
So we actually kept tabs on Mr. Walker, and he did pretty well. You know, I mean, he did better than we all expected. And that's but all jokes aside, though, he did better than any of us would because we didn't do it. We were sitting at home. So, Mr. Walker, we're going to go ahead and talk and get a little update regarding how he did. So, Mr. Walker, first off, how'd you fare out in your race?
Well, so we can get rid of the excitement and the tension and stuff, is I did not complete the race. Okay, so we'll get that out the way first. Mm-hmm. It's 340 miles. It's called the Missouri 340, or the MR, Missouri River 340, the MR 340. And that's a 340-mile race from Kansas City to St. Louis. And we left out of here on July the 23rd. Mm-hmm. July the 23rd through the 26th. 27th was the race. So we left out at 7 a.m. in the morning. If you look on our Facebook page, go to KUAW or to BFTAA, you'll see when we left out, we had there was over 600 people involved in this race. 600
people?
Yes, about 500 boats, because a lot of the boats had multiple people in them. There was 250 or 260 single-person boats. Mm. The rest of them had 2 or more people in them.
Okay.
As we're going down. So the way the race is set up, the people that are in the boats by themselves, they leave first. They leave an hour before. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning on the 23rd. We were down there. My granddaughter, Nyla, say big hello to her. She came out from Arizona, from Tucson, Arizona, because she wanted to help out with the race. And she was a big help. When I told her we were going to be doing this race, she said, I got to come.
Mm-hmm.
So she was out, and my wife. And then my son Raymond and his wife, they were all there at the send-off. So while you're waiting in line to go, and we were able to get on Channel 4 News that morning because we happened to be there, and I think as there weren't a lot of minorities there, or I think we were the only ones I saw anyway, but we did get a little interview about the river conservation, what it's for, and conserving the river, which I just kind of like, okay, we kind of went through that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We lined up. at about 6:30. Yeah, we lined up about 6:30. Line was long to get boats in the water, and they only had one ramp. So they start the race at 7 o'clock. I got my boat in the water about 7:10.
That's not too bad.
And there was people behind me because it's just slow trying to get a bunch of boats in, 200 boats in an hour's time or less than an hour's time. But anyway, got in, it started, and we were off. So Kansas City, I want to let you know that the Missouri River it was a fun river to be on. And there's a lot of people involved as we were going. And then my wife, my granddaughter, was going to meet us at the first, not rest stop, but just at 291 Highway, if you're familiar with Kansas City. On the east side near Independence, 291 crosses the Missouri River. As you go from Independence Center, if you stay on that, come down, you'll go across the river. Anyway, said we'll go by there if we run into any kind of problem, anything we need fixed right quick. We'll touch base with y'all at that area because there's a boat ramp there. Well, when we got to the 291 bridge, I'm seeing all these cars and people up there. I said, well, maybe something else is going on. They're having a game or something up here today. And as we got up closer, they're waving and cheering us on and stuff. And I said, oh, they're here about the race and stuff. So there was a lot of the public came out. And as we kept going in a lot of the small towns along the river, there were people out at the docks. There was a bunch of people out, and they'd be waving or giving you encouragement as you go by and stuff. I wasn't expecting that. But I guess for those small towns, and you got about 400 or 500 boats coming by, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was something to do.
It's something to do and stuff. So people were out, and this was on a work day. We left on a Tuesday morning. So these people were out, and that was good, and we were going, and it was a lot of everybody was about racing, about getting there. So it wasn't a lot of wasn't any play and stuff. I mean, you could talk to people as they went by or as you went by them, or somebody say, good luck or something, but you were busy. So it wasn't like you were there to just kind of socialize and have a great time. So you're steadily paddling this boat. So you got your oars going constantly. And that went on for 6-7 hours before we took our first break. So we went a pretty good ways down the river.
6-7 hours straight.
Yeah, we found we were getting. I want to say Rayfield, who went with me. I had a partner went with me, and he said we were doing about 10 miles an hour, 10 miles every hour. We would get another 10 miles.
So you travel 10 miles each hour.
Yeah, that was about the way it was figuring out. And then as I looked at the app afterwards, after the race, it said we were averaging 5.6 miles an hour. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But we were going along pretty good. You take a little break, but then you had to get back to paddling. And that's what you do all day long. You just paddle. And I didn't know if I could do it. And that's a lot of paddling. I think we got somebody at the door.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't close that door, though, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you go ahead and take care of that, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in some.
All right.
So,
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, we'll be right back. So, now, Mr. Walker made a good point. He said that they were traveling about every 10, roughly between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, if you were a straggler and you couldn't make it, they have this boat called the Reaper that will come and get you and take you back. And pretty much this Reaper boat went slower than most. And at this particular boat that if you could not travel as fast as this particular boat, which is the Reaper, then they would say, okay, you're done, you're out of the race. So funny thing, I'm riding down on Main Street, and I see this truck dart past me, and it was actually towing the Reaper boat. And I was like, man, boat's already on the way to get Mr. Walker. So I shot him a text, and I said, hey, man, I saw the Reaper, and he said he thought I was playing with him. But now I legit saw this boat. They was getting it ready. So this boat was the real deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's it's a good, it's well organized. Now, this isn't just a bunch of people getting in the water and taking out. There's a lot of safety precautions there. They have safety boats and teams. I think there was like 6 safety boats that go up and down keeping track of everybody. They have an app that you put on your phone that lets them know where every boat is on the water, so that's always a good thing. And you have checkpoints, so if you get to a checkpoint, you're supposed to check in. If they don't hear from you, then they're going to start looking for you at a certain time, you know, because they know the boats are kind of, as they're going up and down, people are seeing the numbers. They know where you are. So if you don't hit the checkpoint, then you're going to probably get some attention after a little while as where's that boat?
Right.
Because they want you to let them know, even if you stop and get out, let them know so that people aren't looking for you. But the safety is a primary concern out there. And I have to say I felt like we were pretty safe. I mean, granted, you're out on a river, and it is a river, so it's not like in a swimming pool. It's not even like being in a lake. This is a river, barges going up and down the river, those dredges getting sand up out of there, these big barges with, what do you call it, a backhoe-like thing, putting rocks on the side of the river and stuff. You know, they were like working. People were working there every day, and I'm thinking, wow, they had this big backhoe thing, man, that's grabbing rocks and putting them on the side of the, and there's a big barge full of rocks. And it's scooping them and putting them down, and you know you're out there with people working, and they say if you see a barge, you definitely want to get out of the way, because barges are hard to stop if they can stop at all, and you out there, and those barges are huge. You know, you're talking about something probably sticks out of the water 20, 30 feet, and it's wide and they say if you see one coming, it's just like if you're going down the highway and you see a squirrel trying to go across the street and don't know which way to go, and you don't know how to miss it and stuff. They said, well, when you're in the Missouri River, you're the squirrel, and the barge is like the car, and he can't stop, and you better just get out the way as quick as you can and don't hesitate going back and forth. You got to make a decision to go one way or another, because they can't stop that barge, not on a dime.
So pretty much it's still business as usual for everybody else in the river.
They're at work.
They didn't shut the river down for y'all.
No, the only thing they did do is they're still tearing up the where they're building the Buck O'Neill Bridge, and the Broadway Bridge. They had blew it up and it went down the water, and they've got a lot of equipment there working, getting the bridge up out of the water. And they said they would hold up work until after we left in the morning, because everybody left from there. So they did make a consideration there. They knew from 7 till about 8:30, 9 o'clock, there's going to be a bunch of kayaks leaving.
Yeah, it's nice they did that, because if they didn't, it would have been an issue.
Yeah, because that's right when you leave from Call Point. I mean,
you got to maneuver around all that and everything.
Yeah. So you know, but that was good. We got out okay. We were rolling okay. You get to a rest stop, they have plenty of help for you too. I mean, I guess they know you might be tired from what you're doing, but when you pull to even a paddle stop, there's like people there. They're gonna grab your boat as soon as you drive up, or as soon as you paddle up. They're pulling your boat up. They're helping you out of the thing. They say, hey, we'll carry your boat up to the side for you and stuff. You don't have to do anything. It's almost like a pit stop crew or something. You know, you pull up, they take over everything, and you just get out the boat and go up and sit down or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, you sat there and rode.
And I was like, tired. What? And stuff. And they're like, yeah, you know, I mean, somebody's under this arm and that arm. Say, are you steady? Yeah. Are you this and that? And they walk you up to your chair and stuff and sit down.
Yeah, because shoot.
And I wasn't expecting that and stuff. So it was a lot of courtesy and stuff. But I said, I guess they're treating you like, you know, you're the athlete. And you get tired out there. And believe me, you do get tired out there. It's not, I have been practicing before for this. I practiced for about a year, going to the gym. And then spring, it was a lot of rain, so we had a hard time getting out on the river. But we did get out on the Carr River a couple of times. We went 10 miles up. And we came down it and just trying to see how it was like, because I said I didn't want my first time on the river to be in the race.
Yeah.
But I got another routine that I'm going to do next year.
What's that?
Instead of going up 10 miles and coming down, we're going to put in at Call Point and go up 10 miles.
Okay.
And I figured that'd be more of a workout to paddle upstream for 10
back.
miles and then turn around and come back to where we parked at. Because what we were doing is I'd park my car at one and we'd take the boats up to the other and put it in and da-da-da. But I said, really to get the workout, we park at Call Point and go that 10 miles up. If we do that a few times, 3 or 4 times beforehand, that's going to give us a little more of a workout.
Okay. Yeah,
but my arms were okay. We got through with the 100 miles, and the next day it wasn't like, oh, I can't lift nothing or anything. So I felt like I was in pretty good shape. Physically, I guess partially, the endurance part is something to really get ready for, because the paddle all day, and I was telling Tyrone, we went up until 8:30 or 8 o'clock, 7:30. We got the first day's checkpoint, so we were good for another day. We weren't disqualified or anything, but we decided we wanted to go a little further. And going a little further, the sun starts going down, and next thing we know, it's dark, and we're not where we're going. And didn't have a flashlight packed where I could get to it readily. So that was a problem. One thing I learned about, packing and where you put things, because water and even the snack bars I had were in the wrong position in my bag to make them easy to get to.
So did you have your bag on your back, or did you have it on
No,
your
I
front?
had it strapped on the boat.
Oh, okay.
On the front of the boat, but it has all these bungee cords holding it down, so you got to try and open it up, then you got to try and dig into it.
Yeah.
That's
Get
not
one
a
of
good
these
idea.
Jacksons.
No.
Get one of those vests. You can just
Yes, with stuff in it.
Yeah.
So one thing I say about this whole trip is it was a good educational experience. I think next year we should be able to complete it. I won't say no problem, but we won't make those same little rookie mistakes.
Right.
And there were a lot of people that were first-timers out there. And some of them probably finished, I don't know for sure, but it's an interesting group, because some of the people that have been there a lot, talked to one guy, he had done it 9 times. So it's people that have a lot of experience that you want to get. And that's one thing we learned. When we stopped at 8 o'clock for the first day and decided to push off, the one thing we didn't do was wait and see if there was somebody with experience coming by and say, hey, we'll follow you to the next spot. No, we're gung-ho and we take off. We ain't never been there, so you had 2 people, don't know where they're going and haven't been there before, and we got out there and it got dark, and it's like, oh, man, what do you do now?
Yeah, because you're supposed to have lights.
Yes, and we have navigational lights, which they're just little bitty lights.
But you
on
didn't
the
have
front
you
of
didn't have
the
like lights that we have like here, like this
No, I had one, but it was packed where I couldn't get it.
in the bag.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, I should have had that where I could look down somewhere or do something with it. And it was definitely not in a convenient spot. And at night, after you've been paddling all day, you're a little tired, ache, and things are, you really want to stop.
Right, yeah.
So, and then I think that you don't think as clearly as you would, when you're fresh.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I think I was probably, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. It's this and that. But that's, I learned.
Yeah, that's how it is. Now, how far did you end up getting on your trip?
We got roughly about 100 miles. It was 80 miles, 78 miles into Waverly, right at 80 miles there. And then we paddled from 8:30 till about midnight, 11:30. So we got 2.5 to 3 good hours of paddling. So I said that's a good 20 miles. We was getting 10 miles an hour. That was getting us a good 20 miles down. So I figured we got either a little more or a little less than 100 miles, somewhere approximately 100 miles down the river. So we were almost a third of the way.
Yeah, that's quite the accomplishment. I mean, you're doing all this by manpower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And you don't coast a lot. The current does help you, but you've got to paddle to really keep up to speed.
Yeah.
and get yourself going, and to keep your boat going straight. Because if you just drift, then you may go, you may go any which way. So you got to keep it going, and that's the thing. And as it gets late, I'm not as young as I used to be, so as it was getting around 11, 12, I'm usually in bed.
Not on a kayak.
Not on a kayak out in the middle of a river. The Missouri River in the dark.
Yeah, a dangerous river at that.
And it was interesting. I mean, you felt okay. It was just that we couldn't see much. And what you could see, as I was telling Tyrone earlier, it was like we had paddled into a forest. There were trees everywhere. It was thick, and I on both sides of us, it just really kind of threw me off there because I'm thinking, where are we with all these trees? I mean, it wasn't like you saw farmland or something or a little. It's just trees on both sides and out in the water and little islands of trees and stuff. It was just, I'm thinking, are we still on the river? Did we go up in a bayou or what?
Nah, you coasted down the set of the Predator movie.
So it was like, okay, a lot of things going through your mind then, because it was like, you could pull over to the side if you wanted to and rest there. It didn't matter, but you couldn't see over there. So it's like, I don't know about pulling over there because what's over there?
Right, yeah.
It was, so having a light, packing things better, it definitely let us know that. I think physically we were tired. We were exhausted. We missed our rest stop that we wanted to stop at. And the next one, when we ran into some people, they said we had to go another 20, 25 miles. And I just didn't have 25 miles in me. Yeah, I was getting lightheaded, and I thought for a minute there, and I'm like, man, I hate to let him down and this, that, and other. But I said, I got to say, no, I'm not gonna make that choice to try and keep going. So,
and I'm sure you're probably feeling the same way too.
Yeah, he was tired too, because after we found out we passed the stop and we knew it was 5 miles back, we both kind of said, well, we can't paddle upstream 5 miles.
Yeah, that's going the opposite direction.
Yes.
So you be losing ground.
Yes, and you're gonna work twice as hard. And you're tired. So you're already tired. That's like if you're running a race and you went downhill and somebody say, okay, now turn around and go back up that hill.
No, I'm already down here.
I'm down here, and I sure can't run up that one as fast as I came down, and it's going to take a lot of my energy. So that's what the decision was. So I made the decision to call it a night.
Yeah.
Call it a night.
That was wise. And also, and people are probably thinking that it may be, like a young person's race. But when we talked about it, the majority of the people you were talking about that were actually making strides were individuals that were older in years. There was a lot, and I mean there were a lot of people in their 30s and 40s out there. I mean there was probably a predominance of them, but we were going along at the earlier part of the race, getting that first 50 miles in, feeling pretty good, feeling kind of cocky. Thought, man, we going good, and we haven't been passed by anybody, and we done passed a couple people. We going, and I heard some music playing, and I said, okay, somebody's out here jamming some tunes, as we go around and stuff. Okay, so I'm looking like, okay, there's probably a couple of youngsters coming down here. So, and as I glanced back, I saw 2 little old ladies, gray-haired grandmothers, in a canoe, and they were bouncing to the beat and had their oars on time. They was in time with each other. Stroking on the left, stroke to the right, stroke to the left, stroke to the right. And they just went right on past us like we were standing still. I thought, wow. See, I let the Golden Girls.
Yeah, the Golden Girls come up on us.
Sophia and Dorothy get you.
And I'm like, wow, man. And they just gone. They like waved and had their music going, and we saw their backsides as they were going on down. Wow. And then there was a mother and daughter that came along, and it was interesting because the little girl looked like she was maybe 12. And her mother had a kayak, and the girl was on the back, and they were strolling along pretty good. They had a good kayak, though. They had an Epic. And I found out looking at some of those, as you look in the book, that's like them $3,000 kayaks and stuff. I'm like, okay, they zipping along.
They flew right by y'all, didn't they?
Yeah, they was going on. Mom and daughter, heading on down. A lot of the ones with two people in the boat, they can make some good time.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it. Now the single boats you could maybe keep up with, you could catch up with, or you could pass. But when it's 2 or 3 people, and there were some boats had 4 and 5 people in them.
And they were in a different category than y'all.
They're in the canoes. They call it the voyage. They got 2 to 3 is one scale, and then 4 to 6. And I think the most I saw was maybe 6 people in a boat. And they seemed to be like corporate teams and stuff. They were talking about work as they was going by, and somebody, well, if you get this type of thing in on the, and I'm like, okay.
Can you imagine that? You having a board meeting while you're in a canoe?
Yeah. They were talking about stuff with hiring people and stuff like that. So I thought they must all work together or something and stuff. But they were having a conversation and going on. But, with 5 or 6 people in your boat, you can go along. And then that night, when we before we stopped, it was 2 guys in a boat, almost looked like a barge. It was kind of big, and as we got up there, it was one guy up there paddling. And he said, "Oh yeah, we use this one." He said, "Because it's slow," but he said we can go all night because while one of us sleeps in the back, the other one can keep paddling. And so they had their boat rigged up to where it was room enough in the back for the guy to kind of lay back, and he'd sleep.
Would you recommend sleeping on a boat?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think I could go to sleep on the boat. But they were doing it, and he was woke, and the other guy was asleep, and they were heading on. I didn't see anybody with dogs though.
Okay, well.
I'm not saying they weren't, but I didn't see anybody taking their dog because I was expecting to see that.
Yeah.
But I want to get another kayak too, and that's one thing. The race. For all of you that might be interested, and if you're interested in kayaking and going out on some river excursions, and they have practice runs that sometimes are just 50 miles and that's it, and even 20 miles, so you don't have to go a 340 for the whole summer and stuff. So if you want to, get in touch with us at KUAW Radio, and we'll let you know about it. And there's paddling clubs. I actually joined Paddle KC. And they have, we went out to Olathe Lake and paddled around it, and went to Shawnee Mission Lake. So we go to different lakes in town, or they go to different lakes. I've only paddled with them once. Then I went where they had said they were going, Shawnee Mission and stuff. But you can go to a lot of different lakes and paddle and meet people there. Wednesday nights, there's a race at Shawnee Mission Lake every Wednesday night.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of kayakers. They get together, and they're not a club or anything. You can take your kayak there, anything, and you race around. It's not a big lake, and I watched them take off. It probably takes them 30 minutes or so to do the whole thing. And then a lot of them just picked up the kayaks, put them back in the car, and left. That was it. And they have a timekeeper and stuff. They keep time and all. I don't know if they're sending the record somewhere. Right. But there's a lot of kayaking going on around Kansas City, and it's a good exercise. It's a good exercise. It's a nice workout, and I think we do need more people of color involved in it.
Yeah, I never would have thought that Kansas City would have a huge kayaking community.
Yes. And for the Missouri. Now, another thing, too, about the 340 race. Now, it's a race in Missouri, but they had people there, I think it was from 6 different countries and from, I forget how many different states that came. Because the Missouri 340-mile race is the longest nonstop river race in the world.
Wow, I did not know that, because now you got people say, hey, let's go to the United States for what? So we can race on the Missouri River?
Yes, down the Missouri River. So they had people, some of them were from Canada, not too far, but still. And met some people who came down from Michigan, and one guy from Arizona, where my granddaughter was from. He came from Tucson for this race. People from down south. It's a lot of people come to it if they're into paddling. It's the longest nonstop river race in the world, 340 miles.
And it starts here in Kansas City and ends in St. Louis.
That's right.
Yeah, that's history.
That's right. So it was fun, and I'm going to do it again. Good Lord willing, my health hold up. I'll be out there next year. I've got a road crew. Matter of fact, I think Tyrone has said he would like to be part of the road crew.
I'll be out there.
So I was telling him, so I think we've got, and my granddaughter said, oh, yeah, she's definitely coming back.
I'm not missing this.
Everybody had a good time, and, yeah, it's fun. So we're going to go out. We're going to make it another big trip and have some fun with it.
Now, in closing, what would you do different next time?
Okay, next time, preparation-wise, water. I think I told you I want to get a camel pack where you can carry the water on sort of a backpack on your back that holds maybe a gallon or something, because having little bottles of water are a pain in the you-know-what when you're out there. They're dangerous in a way because you've got to kind of stop paddling and unscrew this and hold your paddle and then drink and then put the bottle somewhere because you don't want to litter. And then you end up with a bunch of bottles rolling around your feet and stuff in there. It was not a good thing. So I would definitely have a camel pack. I want to have a vest with more pockets on the outside where can carry some food. And the food have to be like nuts and stuff. I bought some protein bars. Thought they were good. It's too hot for protein bars. They started melting and stuff. So then you're trying to peel that out of the paper. Again, very hard to do while you're in a kayak, keeping your balance going down the river. Yeah. So I may carry me some bags of nuts, something that's not going to melt, that I can, get it right quick, because you do need to get some energy while you're out in the water and stuff. So those are some of the things you want to have. A good light, packing carefully. Your sleeping bag, bedroll and stuff, you can pack that down in the boat anyway. You're not going to need it while you're out on the water. So don't have it in your way or anything like that. Right. But your lights, you're going to need lights, especially as it gets dark. Now, you get to the first rest stop, it's going to be daytime now. But then there'll be a certain time that you want to get out, get your lights out, have them handy where you can get to them. So when you make a stop, you've got to be a little more prepared for what you need to do at each stop. And that's what I was talking with my granddaughter about, is right, because your ground crew is very important. They keep you going. They can keep track of things you need to do. They can encourage you to keep going and stuff. So and we found that out before we left. There was a video that we were watching. The ground crew is a very important part of the whole race. Because they're the ones that when you get your boat up out the water, they say, hey, you need something to eat. Are you looking good? What time is it? What day is it? Things like that. They can judge if you need to go on, or, hey, maybe you need to rest right here.
Yeah, let's pitch you up.
See, we didn't have anybody to tell us, because we had told them, well, we don't need them at the next stop. And somebody could have said that, hey, now it's a little dark. Maybe y'all need to stop right here. Yeah. And we'll leave in the morning. So, yeah, we want to have a ground crew, and your ground crew needs to be very much aware of how the race is going, not just that they're there enjoying the race. Right. And stuff, but they're being a ground crew. They got a job. Yeah. So that's something. Yeah. And they learned that, too. Like I say, my granddaughter and my wife found out, they watched the video, and they found out how important. And they said next time they wouldn't let us tell them we don't need to come to the next stop. They would be at the next stop. Yeah, the way we say, oh, no, y'all can go on home. We'll catch y'all in the morning. That's like I said, we've made a lot of mistakes as rookies out there. And I think that's going to help us if we go back again, or when we go back again, that, okay, we got a better respect for the ground crew and somebody else helping you out. And that type of work. So those are some of the things I do different.
That's cool. The good thing about mistakes is once you figure them out, they become learning steps. And it seems like you're on the right track to making this thing happen next year. Maybe you'll get a little bit farther.
That's what we tell our kids in robotics.
Exactly.
And stuff. Yeah, it may not go right, don't work right. Then you have to take it apart and do it again.
You got to figure it out. Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, what, we got to do that? Yeah. It doesn't work, then figure it out and do something different.
And that's the cool thing about it. So it's like Mr. Walker said earlier, if you are interested in kayaking or doing the next MR event, or just trying to get into a club to do some rowing, call us at KUAW 816-599-6893 and ask for Mr. Walker to give you all those details. So just like he said, your ground crew is just as important as the individual in the kayak. Teamwork is key.
Yeah.
You got to be organized.
Yeah.
And you got to depend on each other and trust in each other. This is a lesson that we can learn not just with the event that Mr. Walker was in, but with life in general. Make sure the individuals that you surround yourself with to achieve your goal is those who you can trust. This is Tyrone Gethers Jr., and I'm with Mr. Walker, and I'm your host of the Sources Inkwell. And in the Inkwell, knowledge is like ink. It's like ink. It's going to overflow. Let it stay permanent. God bless. See you next week.